Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Lincoln Heights, Ohio, where Black Americans had to protect themselves. Y'all, I'm going to make a prediction. If some of these white people who are out here trying to be bad or not careful, they're going to experience the worst ass whipping that they've experienced in many a year. So, Lincoln Heights is near Cincinnati, Ohio, not far from Springfield, where the Haitians got bullied earlier in the year. So I think the neo Nazis came back to see if they could frighten Black Americans, but it didn't turn out quite like they thought it was going to turn out. And I'm not sure how much of this is being reported by the national news. I got this article from an international news source. And it says on Friday, February 7th, a group of neo Nazis protected by local police, that's very important, briefly took over an overpass on Interstate 75 in Lincoln Heights, Ohio, just outside of Cincinnati. The Nazis waved black and red flags adorned with swastikas and dropped a banner that featured a death head skull and the phrase, America for the white man. See, this is where they go wrong. America was never for the white man. If the white man wanted his own place, he should have stayed his ass in Europe. It is important to underscore the fact that the police are almost always involved in these terrorist activities. In the South, when the Ku Klux Klan was raging, they were always raging under the protection of the police. The police was always somewhere nearby, making sure that the Klan people didn't get attacked by the black people. It's well documented that the Klan would go to the police and say, "We need your protection." So the police are always there or somewhere close by when these locally grown terrorists decide to strike. So these Nazis had come to Lincoln Heights, Ohio, which is a predominantly black town, to intimidate the citizens. That's all it is. So while police did nothing to stop the Nazis from threatening residents, less than an hour after the fascists gathered on the overpass, a much larger group of Lincoln Heights residents came to the bridge to confront them. Video posted on social media shows the police trying to protect the Nazis from the outraged residents, as they always do. But the key takeaway here is that it was a handful of those Nazis. They came there to frighten the people, the black people in that small town. But a much larger group of black people came armed to confront them. This caption says, community members brought their own firepower to defend themselves at the march and block off roads, stopping traffic as the crowd walked onto the overpass. So they pulled up like gangbusters, blocked off the roads. It's like, you want some of this? I love this. I love this. They blocked off the road, stopped traffic, and walked onto the overpass like, bring it if you're there. It's a shame that law abiding American citizens have to put up with stuff like this. You're at your home, you're in your community, minding your business, and somebody comes to you with this kind of bullshit. So, you know what I'm saying? Black people have a saying, don't we? Don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. In one video, a resident is heard saying that the Nazis can die today. They came to the wrong hood with this SHIT. Several outraged locals also demanded that the police stop protecting the Nazis and order them to leave. Eventually, more than 100 local residents came to confront the Nazis. As residents came closer to the Nazis, the police attempted to protect the fascists and tried to get the residents to disperse. Instead, the residents broke through the police line and forced the Nazis to flee. Now, isn't that something? I could just hear the police telling the black people, y'all going on home now, y'all going on home now. We don't want no trouble. We don't want no trouble. Telling the black people that after those Nazis invaded their neighborhood and they were calling them all kinds of racial slurs. They thought it was going to be a show of intimidation, but they thought wrong. Whenever you bust a move like those Nazis did and you're the one that ends up running, you know it's game over for you. The Nazis specifically chose to hold their demonstration in Lincoln Heights because of its large African American population and history of resistance. Oh, so they have a history of resistance. Lincoln Heights was established in the early 1920s as an enclave for black people who were barred from owning property in the suburbs of Cincinnati due to racist redlining laws. Many former slaves and their descendants moved north to work at companies such as the Tennessee Fertilizer Company and the Wright Aeronautical Plant, which would later become General Electric Aviation. So they targeted Lincoln Heights because it has a large black American population and because they have a history of resistance. Well, I guess they found out pretty quickly that they still have the spirit of resistance. And not only are they resistant, but they're also resilient. The first residents of Lincoln Heights did not have access to utilities, paved roads, or sidewalks. There were no initial plans for future stores, schools, or parks. No library, fire department, or police station was established for over 20 years. So, see, doing everything they could to deprive that community. And yet, 100 years later, they're still standing with their dignity and self respect intact. Unsurprisingly, despite the fact that it appears this is the same group of Nazis that assaulted residents in Columbus last November, police refused to arrest a single Nazi for threatening residents while brandishing firearms, nor did the police cite the Nazis for using a U-Haul to illegally transport themselves. This police department has got to be investigated. And I don't mean just investigated, I mean investigated and action taken against them. So this has got to be a new take on terrorism, riding around in a U-Haul truck. You have to take time to figure out why. I guess they don't want anybody to get their car tags if they had a car. But anyway, in a statement issued after the Nazis fled, Avondale Police Chief Tim Holloway claimed the protest, while very offensive, was not unlawful. Holloway noted that after the Nazis left, no further action was taken by the Avondale Police Department. Action, whoever they gonna take action against. I suppose that was his way of saying that no harm was done, but harm was done because a terrorist group came to intimidate citizens of that town. So harm was done. Okay, y'all, here it comes. The prayer march came 2 days after a group displayed swastikas above Interstate 75 near Lincoln Heights, just 15 miles north of downtown Cincinnati. So 2 days later, somebody convinced black people to get caught up in a prayer vigil. Where are the Nazis and why aren't they praying? They're the ones that need to be delivered. These people were in their community minding their business. They weren't bothering anybody. Invaders came into their community to bully and intimidate them. Yet the black people are the ones having a prayer session. It wouldn't surprise me if some white person had convinced black people that they needed to go in prayer. Who are the black people praying for? Okay? Relative to an incident like this, the only thing that black people need to pray for, in my opinion, is for the Almighty Creator to give them protection when they go into battle with people like this. I will say that the news media has watered down the anger that the black people felt and tried to make it seem like, oh, they were in unity and they were in love. So I'm going to put some links so you can go back and watch some of the videos. And on top of that, they set those Nazi flags on fire. So those black people were angry and they were not playing. The news media always wants to downplay black people's anger. Oh, they just want to be peaceful and they want to be loved. They were carrying automatic rifles. That is not about being here for unity and peace. That's about a fight. So I'm going to put some links there. America is going to have to come to terms with the fact that there's a different type of black person on the scene now. And it's going to be a lot different dealing with black people of the 21st century than it has been dealing with the ones in the centuries before. So I think that America needs to stop, look, and listen and pay attention to what's going on with black people as well as everybody else. Well, anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about this. Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.